I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi, silly Jedi.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there.
At last! Where have you been?
Nice of you guys to drop by.
Ah, good. New acquisitions.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey everybody, welcome to Jedi Toy Masters Star Wars Card Talk. So this week we are changing gear a little bit. I don't want to say changing gear, but excuse me. Going to talk about something that's not Star Wars movie related. And the reason I say that is because we are super pumped about this new thing. I don't know if you've heard, if you've been hiding under a rock, but it's called Disney Plus. And part of Disney Plus is it's like it's the whole subscription service, kind of like Netflix, and you're gonna have access to like everything Disney and Marvel and National Geographics, apparently. But with that, you're gonna get everything Star Wars. Everything Star Wars is gonna be on there, like all of the movies, the cartoons, like Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, excuse me, Star Wars Resistance, and all the new content that's going to be put on there. So one of the new shows that's going to be premiering right off the bat as soon as Disney Plus launches, and when this episode is released, it would have already launched. So next week we're actually going to be doing a kind of like a quick breakdown, review / reaction to episode 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian. So the first show that Disney Plus and Disney with Lucasfilm is going to release as a live action Star Wars TV show. I mean, the last live action Star Wars TV show or movie that was on TV was the Ewok movie. That was a made-for-TV movie, basically. And before that, you had the holiday special, which we don't talk about. But this is the first live-action Star Wars content that is not a movie, that's not on screen. So this is really exciting, and what a cool show to launch, to be the first one up, which is The Mandalorian. Now, if you've seen the Mandalorian trailers and all the kind of information that has been released regarding this show, The Mandalorian, it looks phenomenal. It looks amazing. It's a very kind of like a dark, edgy version, but it's the dark and edgy corner of the Star Wars universe. It's the stuff that is maybe too adult, quote unquote adult, for the cartoons, and too adult possibly for the movies. But then again, Rogue One was pretty intense. It was, had some violence and some, intense stuff. And all the Star Wars movies over the years have had their fair amount of violence and, fighting and, gunplay and, dying. Every time a stormtrooper gets shot, just because you don't see blood, although the first time you did see blood was in The Force Awakens when that one stormtrooper got shot and touched Finn's helmet and you saw the handprint, the bloody handprint. That was the first time you actually saw a stormtrooper dying and blood. The last time you saw blood was when Princess Leia got shot in the arm in Empire Strikes Back. Not Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Sorry. So anyway, Mandalorian is going to be this it's an edgy new show on Disney Plus. What's really cool is that unlike Netflix, which releases their content, like their TV shows, all at once, and you can like binge watch them, like Stranger Things and so forth. The cool thing about this is that it's going to be released on a weekly basis. So it's going to be kind of like how we're used to, like the good old days of television, where you watch something and then you have to wait a week to watch the next episode. That's still, you still get that with like HBO, Game of Thrones was like that. It's episodic television. So I like the fact that they're going to stick to the format of episodic television. I think that's really good, and that's key to also keeping your subscribers. It's very smart on Disney's part to do that, because you're gonna get to keep your subscribers. You're gonna get to keep people coming back for more. It's not gonna be like people that are just gonna like sign up for Disney Plus, buy it for a month, $7 for 1 month, watch all of Mandalorian and as much Star Wars movies as they can digest, and then cancel, and then wait for the next show to come out. So this is really a smart move by Disney, but it also makes sense, and I actually prefer watching something like that. I love the anticipation of watching something week to week, being able to talk about every episode during the week with people that that are watching, being able to do this. We'll be definitely talking about that on this show. And as well as on our Instagram account, which is we're mostly active on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, please make sure you follow us at jeditoymasters. So this is going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to this. But the latest trailer of The Mandalorian showed us a little bit more. It's a lot of the same footage that we've seen. I mean, there's that iconic shot of the stormtrooper helmets on sticks, and they're kind of there's also shots of the Mandalorian battling some stormtroopers, and you see some death troopers kind of like in a firing squad formation. You see a character that's some kind of quasi-imperial gangster, and he's flying a TIE fighter, and you see the Mandalorian kind of like hooking on to his TIE fighter, and you see the Mandalorian kind of grabbing onto the TIE fighter. A really quick shot in the trailer, which I think was really cool as well. A lot of cool shots in here, and you see the fact that the Mandalorian has a compassionate side. You see him kind of like defending some people. You see a shot at the end where him and another character, I think her name is Cara Dune, they kind of like give each other kind of like a high five. And you see the fact that him and IG-11 are a team, and a lot of cool stuff going on in this trailer. And there's a quick shot of a woman that's about to like unmask the Mandalorian. Although I don't know if they're gonna do that. I'm on two minds in that matter. You have an amazing actor playing the Mandalorian, Pasquale. I forgot his first name, but I'm sorry. And you have the fact that you have this great actor that's under the mask for the most part, when it's not a stunt double. But there's also the mystery of who is the Mandalorian. So do you keep it a mystery for maybe this first season? Because season 2 is already being filmed as we speak, and it will probably be released next year. So do you keep it a mystery, or is it like 3-4 episodes in, he's unmasked, and there you go, there's the Mandalorian, and now you can dive into other things. And it's essentially going to be like an 6 to 8 hour Star Wars movie, which is really cool when you think about it. I mean, aside from maybe binge watching the Star Wars movies, and you're sitting there for like 8-10 hours during whatever, binge watching them and taking breaks in between, to be able to, at the end of it, because it's going to live on Disney Plus, this show, once it's completely aired. So basically, come January, after the emotional roller coaster that is Rise of Skywalker, once that dies down, and you're like, wow, you're reacting to that, good or bad, you're gonna get to go back and you can rewatch the entire series of The Mandalorian, the first season, all at once. That you can binge watch it after you've seen it week to week. So then you can go back and then watch the whole thing over again, and maybe even in one sitting, like take a whole day and do it, and be able to then see it as one long movie, be able to do that. So I like the fact that we're gonna get chunks of it a week to week, and then it's going to live on Disney Plus, and you can watch it anytime you want. And I think that's really, really cool. And then obviously next year we're going to get the final season of the Clone Wars animated show, which leads right into episode 3, which is something that a lot of us fans have kind of like been waiting for. I mean, we kind of got that with the the original Clone War mini episodic show that was on Cartoon Network years ago, and the last episode of that, I actually have them on DVD. The last episode of that leads right into episode 3, but that's no longer canon, and the Clone Wars cartoon is really the new one. The newer one is really the one that's canon, and that's going to lead right into episode 3. So it's going to be kind of cool to have that finally be complete, where you can possibly watch this last season of Clone Wars if you want, and use that as kind of like what you watch in between episode 2 and 3 when you're watching the prequels. So again, it's a super exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. I'm super hyped. I'm super excited about The Mandalorian. I can't wait. I actually picked up I have the Carbonized Mandalorian Black Series figure, which we did an unboxing right here on this channel. So if you haven't watched that, we did that with my little Jedi Toy Masters. You can check that out. I'll put the link in the description or over here in the card. And also, we just picked up the IG-11 Black Series figure. Now, I'm not a Black Series collector. I started at one point collecting a bunch of them, and I then kind of like quickly changed my mind. I wanted to focus more on the traditional 3 3/4 figures because I really like them, and the vintage collection 3 3/4 are really cool. I know this is a little bit off topic. I just wanted to throw that in there, but there are a few Black Series figures that I'm kind of like decided, all right, I'm gonna have these, and that Mandalorian figure is awesome because I love Mandalorians. I love the Boba Fett. I plan on purchasing a Boba Fett figure at some point. I already have the prototype white Boba Fett Black Series 6-inch figure. So I like the idea that you have the Mandalorian and you have his sidekick IG-11. So you have to have both, you know. The video for unboxing that IG-11 should be on the channel now, or should be coming out either this week or next week. So please stay tuned for that. If it's already out, I'll put the link in the description as well. So anyway, but Mandalorian, what do you guys think? Now, obviously, by the time this video comes out, those first 2 episodes have been released. So let me know in the comments below, what was your biggest high or your favorite moment in these first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian? All I have to, me right now has only seen the final trailer, hasn't seen the first 2 episodes yet. But I will have already seen it by the time this video comes out, and next week you're gonna get my take on those first 2 episodes. But let me know in the comments here what you thought of The Mandalorian, what you thought of those first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. Did it hit a home run? Do you think it's something that is going to continue? Obviously, there is a season 2. Obviously, it was that good that they decided to do a season 2. But what do you think? Did Disney chew off more than it can chew? Chew off more than it can chew? Does that make sense? With doing season 2, do you think there'll be a season 3? Maybe they'll continue their tradition of having trilogies and maybe just 3 seasons of Mandalorian, and then we'll move on to something else. You also have the Cassian Andor series, you have the Obi-Wan series, and who knows what else. So let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm super excited about The Mandalorian. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to just something new that's Star Wars, but also that takes place in that beautiful time in the Star Wars history of, this is right after, well, not right after, but it's years after Return of the Jedi, so it's still within that time of before the First Order, so you still have the touches of the original trilogy in there. Who are you excited to see possibly in this show, maybe this season or next season? Maybe some characters from Clone Wars make an appearance, maybe some characters from Star Wars Rebels make their first live action appearance. I think it would be so cool to maybe run into some other Mandalorians that we know of that do exist. Mandalore is still a planet, obviously it wasn't destroyed, it's still there. And there are other Mandalorians out there. There's the Black Saber that's out there somewhere. So, it's going to be really cool to see how they tie in all this stuff. And we know that Dave Filoni, who is one of the creators of Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, and one of the co-creators here of The Mandalorian, along with Jon Favreau. So there's a lot of input as far as that. And we know that Jon Favreau worked with Dave Filoni, providing the voice of one of the Mandalorians in Clone Wars. In the Clone Wars, I forgot what season it was, but so there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of original trilogy love. There's going to be a lot of prequel love in there. And this is supposed to really plant the seeds for how we got to the place where we are now with the sequel trilogy, which is the First Order and the Resistance. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed my little rant this week. Star Wars Car Talk, after all. Hopefully one day soon we'll have a guest sitting right here next to me. And you know, it's just an exciting time. Once again, it's an exciting time to be a Star Wars fan. I'm super excited about being a Star Wars fan, especially because I have boys who love Star Wars and I get to share it with them, and it's something that we do together as a family. So next week we will be breaking down, talking about The Mandalorian and what we thought of the first couple episodes. We're going to be watching it with the boys as well, and I'll let you know what they thought. But until then, you can check out some of our other videos. We have unboxings and other Star Wars related videos right here on our channel. We are the Jedi Toy Masters, but we're Star Wars fans first. So that's why our channel is a slew of Star Wars love. So please support us by subscribing and liking the video and sharing the video. Share as many of the videos as you can and like them and subscribe, because we really would love to grow this channel. And we love the Star Wars community. It's such a great thing. We're on Instagram at Jedi Toy Masters. Follow us there, and there's so many great Star Wars fans that we've been able to connect with through Instagram, and as well as through the comments on some of our videos here. So please comment below, let us know who you are, let us know what your greatest Star Wars memory is, and what you thought of The Mandalorian episode 1 and 2, which would have already been released by the time this video is published on YouTube. So again, thank you so much. Please like and subscribe, and remember, the Force will be with you.
So what I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
I'm glad you're here to tell us these things.
You're going to find that many of the truths we cling to depend greatly on our own point of view.
What are you talking about?